because honoring thy fathers and thy mothers, your days will be lengthened upon this earth. These names have never been recognized by any true American citizen of this day. They're your free national name. You are known and recognized by all nations of the earth that are recognized by said national government in which they live. The 14th and 15th Amendments brought the North and South in unit, placing the Southerners who were at the time without power with the constitutional body of power at at that time, 1865, the free national constitutional law that was enforced since 1774 declared all men equal and free. And if all men are declared by the free national free national constitution to be free and equal since that constitution has never been changed. There is no need for applications of the 14th and 15th Amendments for the salvation of our people and citizens. So there isn't but one supreme issue for my people to use redeem that which was lost, and that is through the above statements. The lion and the lamb can lie down together in yonder hills, and neither will be harmed, because love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice will be reigning in this land. In those days, the United States will be one of the greatest civilized and prosperous governments of the world. But if the above principles are not carried out by our citizens and my people in this government, the worst is yet to come, because the great God of the universe is not pleased with the works that are being performed in North America by my people. And this great sin must be removed from the land to save it from enormous earthquakes, diseases, etc. And I, the prophet, do hereby believe that this administration of the government, being more wisely prepared by more genius citizens that believe in their free national constitution and laws, and though the help of such classes of citizens, I, the prophet, truly believe that my people will find true and divine way of their forefathers and learn to stop serving carnal customs and merely ideas of man that have never done them any good, but have always harmed them. So I, the prophet, am hereby calling aloud with a divine plea to all true American citizens to help me to remove this great sin which has been committed and is being practiced by my people in the United States of America, because they know it is not the true and divine way, and without understanding, they have fallen from the true light and into utter darkness of sin. And there is not a nation on earth today that will recognize them socially, religiously, politically, or economically, etc. In their present condition of their endeavorment in which they themselves try to force upon a civilized world. They will not refrain from their sinful ways of action, of their deeds have brought Jim Crowism, segregation, and everything that brings harm to human beings on earth. And they fought the Southerners for all these great missions, but I have traveled in the South and have examined conditions there. And it is the works of my people continuously practicing the things which bring dishonor, disgrace, and disrespect to any nation that lives the life. And I am hereby calling on the true American citizens of moral support and finance to help me in my great missionary work to bring my people out of darkness into marvelous light.
Oh, my bad. I was muted. I was Islam. Peace and love to everybody.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Somebody else came in. Somebody else came in that I didn't agree. Oh, IG Universally 6022. Peace and love. Okay. So I remember we were supposed to do some mock. mock court demonstrations, mock missionary work demonstration. You know, I'm acting like I'm the magistrate, or I'm acting like I'm just somebody that sees one of you in the fez or turban, and I want to know about what's this Moorish paradigm about? What is this about? All right, so I figure I'll just pick somebody. Let's approach it like that. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I've been seeing you in class, man. At, where you go? You got Long Beach. Where you go? Long Beach College? Where you go?
Yeah, Long Beach City College.
Yeah, man. I've been seeing you at Long Beach City College. I've been seeing you with this red thing with the black strings hanging off of it. You seem like a cool dude. I just need more information, man. What is this about, man? Is this a religion? What you got going on over here, man?
Well, actually, what I have, this red thing, what you call is a headdress. And it's the womb and the umbilical cord on it. And it's called a fez. And what it is it represents my nationality, which is my Moorish nationality, which some people call Black, brown, Latino, like I say nigga, but we're all connected, and the connection is called the nationality of the Moors. Um, so it's a part of science where we coexist with each other. Um, yeah.
Hmm. Okay, okay.
Say we're ancient people. We go all the way back, with the North Axum, the South Axum, the West Axum, where it was called it wasn't Africa, it was called Terra. And in between the Axums were a land called Atlantis, where we traveled from to and far. So this goes all the way back before the Slavs or the European colonists colonized us, back where we talk about Christopher Columbus. So we've been here. Just look up Queen Khalifa. That's what I say.
That's excellent, man. I didn't know. I feel like I'm informed, and I feel like I know my nationality. I thought I was a black guy. I just thought I thought I just got shipped off the boat. Oh man, how can I come learn about the? Can I come learn? Is it what? Y'all have meetings? What's going on? Y'all part of a? Is this you or is you part of an organization? Put me on, man.
Well, yes, you can come join. I mean, it's Khalifa Society, and I'll send you the Zoom link. Probably like give me your phone number or your Discord, and you just come in here, check these meetings out, see what you think about them, see how you like them, and then from there, you're gonna love them. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna feel good. So just this is what I do. This is what I represent, and you can get to learn more literature about it if you want to come.
Okay,
Yeah.
I appreciate that. All right, let's go. Let's go nine now. I've been seeing
I
you.
knew you were gonna pick me. I feel like I talk about this all day when I'm not working stuff. I'm always trying to put people on. But I feel like when I approach this, I approach it with when people give me keywords.
Uh, wait,
Oh,
wait, wait.
sorry.
No, no, no. I don't. Right. I gotta come up with a scenario. It's random.
Okay.
Uh,
You
Nah,
put me on
now.
the spot.
So I happen to see you, and I see this purple thing tied around this red thing with a feather. what's this about? Is their nationality? What's this culture? What's going on? I just have to know.
It's exactly that. So this is a turban's fez, and this feather right here represents like balance and being very light, being very lighthearted. And this is a Moroccan headdress, so it represents nationality, Moorish culture, and that's what I represent. And I feel like I can't do it on the spot like that. I feel like it has to be a little bit more natural for me.
Oh, don't worry about that, man. I'm just here just to get informed. I just want to know, man. Um,
Okay.
so now you look Vietnamese. So the Vietnamese is connected to the Moorish culture. I didn't know that was connected like that. How's that connected?
So, well, if we're talking about like the Olmecs, right? The Olmecs were ancient great civilization that had traveled over to Manchuria, which is known as modern day China. And with Vietnam, that actually branched off from China. So we have the ancestors that had traveled all the way through to modern day China. And then once, all the wars and everything happened, that's how you got Vietnam. Vietnam was trying to split off from China. But when you trace all the way back to our ancestors, that's how we're all connected. And the Olmecs actually, they wore a lot of jade. And so when you're going through the Silk Road and all the trade, there's a lot of jade back then in ancient times, the Olmecs, Mayans wore that. And then we have a lot of jade. We honor that a lot in China and in Vietnam. So I see that connection and that flow of how we're all connected and how there's a big influence. We just have to honor our ancestors. But not a lot of people know that they don't go all the way back. They just go to the independence of Vietnam from China. They don't go further back in history.
That's heavy. That's heavy right there. I
Ooh,
appreciate
man,
that.
I was shy.
I appreciate that, man. You put me onto some information I didn't know about. I didn't know about that. Okay. So let's go. What we got in here, man?
I'll take a stab at it, Mafi.
There you
There,
go.
there you go. We got volunteers. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. I'll take volunteers too.
Yeah, okay. Um, yeah, the Moorish Americans. Moorish Americans are the people that are erroneously labeled Black, African American, colored, Negro, Latino, Hispanic. It's a misapplication, a misidentification, a misadministration, a misnomer, and a misrepresentation. Oh, well, excuse me, a mis. I forgot all the misses there. I'm throwing in a lot of misses, but it's not our. It's not. It's a label. It's a brand that was placed on us by European Dutch slave masters, and the wound itself, the national hairdress, the fez, it represents the wound. Now, if you know how a hex alpha is, a hex alpha has 6 points. That actually is 2 trines. One trine itself adds up to 360 degrees. You multiply 2 times 360, that comes up with 720. 720 is the represent. If you do the numerology, 2 plus 7 plus 0 equals 9. That equates woman, and that's exactly what the fez represents. Is the wound of the woman as the mother of the universe, the mother of civilization. But as a Moorish American, the skin tone that everyone references as black is not black. Scientifically, it's called tyrosinase. Tyrosinase is a reddish brownish enzyme in reddish brownish pigmentation in the skin enzyme in that. Oh, I'm all over the place, man. I'm flaming, but
I told you that.
because I'm sitting in my car,
That's
man. I'm
science
thinking
right
about
there.
something I got to do, bro.
Hey, yo,
But
Mom, that boy, you created a monster, boy.
For real. He need to be in the
Man,
lab.
I'm all over the place. I'm flaming, man. I need a life. I need a life raft at this moment.
It's all good, man. I feel like so.
I was all over the place. I was sputtering, man, but I would have been. I probably been a lot smoother than that. But
You're all good.
I was all over the place.
That's why we're doing this too, man, because it's just so now you need to maybe get a little more grounded. I feel like you get excited, tell the information, so you be like 100 miles an hour, which is good. It's good. It's good. Because it show you got passion, so nothing wrong with it. It's just you doing this to get a little more. Remember, this is new information. We gotta always know that this is new information for people. It's a blank canvas, so we don't want to just blow their headpiece off where they go back to sleep. Remember, you don't want to. They
That
just
remind me
blinded by
of
the light. You know what I
remind me
mean?
of last night I was watching Michael Beasley and I want to say somewhere with Michael Beasley, but I remind me he was talking about who reminded him of himself. But when the brother was saying like he was saying like slow down, he was talking about Anthony Edwards playing at like 1,000 miles an hour. But he was like if he knows how to place that on the court, he'll be more lethal. He's just like outplaying everybody else that can't play up to his speed. So sometimes when we're teaching, we're just saying things like over people's heads that they're not really getting, but if we know how to like capture something that they're saying and bring it down to that level, and that's just like picking a particular spot on the court where I know I can get a shot here. Oh, they're acting about the Shriners. I know I can do that. Let me get into my Shriner bag. Oh, my fans is about the mother. Let me get into my mother bag instead of coming up, giving somebody 1,000 dribbles, and then you try to take a shot and you miss because you don't got enough energy to actually line it up. So that reminded me of that. Just as a whole, we all got learn how to place our most optimal spot on the court to score, and that score is like putting the person on. You know what I mean? But that reminded me of that. Like, and even myself, I get excited too because I'm in the gym and someone asks me something, I'm trying to like say a million things in like one sentence, and I end up like cheering and all of them. Like, okay, cool. But I'm learning each time to say like, because the last person asked me about Shriner, so I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just stay on that part because that's where they're coming to me at. And then Brother Mafia says like, meet people where they are. He's always like, you bump into this person, bump to this person, so you need to know how to adjust. So it's kind of looking like hooping. Okay, cool. That's the Shriner defense. Okay, cool. Do I need to make a step back or do I need, pick my dribble up and do this? You know what I mean? But that's how I was looking at the other thing. But yeah, for sure.
Okay. Hey, Mafi, can I take another swing at it?
Oh yeah, go ahead, man.
Okay. All right. Let's slow it down a little bit. Okay. So Moorish Americans are descendants of Moroccans born in America. My nationality happens to be aboriginal to this land known as the Americas. And we have been here, we've been transversing these lands for thousands of years. This is well documented historically, anthropologically, archaeologically. You can check the Library of Congress, you can check the Smithsonian records, you can check all the world-renowned historians, anthropologists, archaeologists. You could do even scientific science itself, biology, DNA. It all adds up, and it comes to us who are erroneously called Black, African American, colored, and Negro.
Like that.
Yeah. That's how you do it. Like that was official for sure.
Like that, man.
To be honest with you, the first one was good too. If I was just listening to him and didn't know nothing, I would have been asking him questions, especially when he broke down, the first when he broke down the word black and all that. I was like, woo. So it would have had me intrigued if I was just bumping into him. But I feel what y'all saying though.
Yeah. When the first time he sparked me of like also wearing the fez like represents like your mother, that was genuine. I was like, oh, that was another view I could look at that when you said. I was like, oh, so if I didn't know anything about anything, when he was bringing on the fez, I would be like, oh, so wearing a fez can symbolize representing mother or something like that. You know what I mean? So he was like representing the woman. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. So that can symbolize womanhood and all that. That would have took me down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, so then as we when you get more into it, you let them know that the woman represents the matriarch. And the woman in our society is actually, you know, the top, as they want to say. Oh man, this person parking real close to me. The woman actually represents the head of the family, the head of the household. You know, and when society is operating in its true nature, you know, but you know, in this modern contemporary times, the patriarch seems to be always in the lead of everything, and that's the way things are upside down per se. You know, they put the patriarch on top, but it's actually the matriarch.
Hey Larry, but I got a question on that. Like, just like you say, like by nature, a woman thrives off of emotion. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So maybe is that why they flipped it? Because we more hard bodied than they are when it comes to certain situations. Like, why they flip it?
Well, when they flipped it, this is where they replaced the matriarch with like isms, religious dogma, you know, superstition, you know, politics, and all this other stuff. The signs of the woman was actually replaced by those stigmas. You know what I'm saying? That we now live in society and reference as reality now, when it's actually not. But that's the reason why, you know, it's pretty much more science. You know, more science. If we deal specifically in more science, you know, C.M. Bay once wrote that if you deal primarily with truth and evidence, you only need a small book. But when you're dealing with lies, you need a big book. And that's what we're living in under now, because each lie has to be covered up by thousands of other lies.
That's deep.
So when you tell the truth is it doesn't really have, it's very cut and clear. Is no need to add on anything extra onto it. But when you're dealing with lies, there's so many webs out here. And that's what we're dealing with.
Can I
That's
add
deep.
something really quick?
That's deep.
Go ahead, Nine. Yeah.
So, my input on like the emotional aspect of like the matriarch, I think the reason why it's flipped is because they don't want us to know how powerful we are, because we can tap into our intuition, and to go into the patriarch and to disregard the woman, that takes away her power, not being to follow the patriarch. Because back then, women used to gather together and would know if something was going on. They can feel it emotionally and in their bodies and things like that, to see if there was like anyone coming to invade and things like that. So I think the reason for the flip is like a power move, but also to decrease the power of the woman. And because women, we're actually very close with nature. We're very in tune with nature. Our moon cycles are synced. It's with the moon. So when we're talking about the fez representing woman, right? Woman is the closest to nature. We study nature. We're part of nature. So that's how I see it. when we're talking about matriarch, patriarch, why that happened, I think is to bring the woman down, because they want, it's power. It's a power move.
Damn, that's deep too. Damn. Thank you for that, Empress. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's
but-
something to consider. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yeah. So a woman's intuition is very important. So when, women talking about feelings and things like that, it's important to acknowledge that, because if you don't acknowledge that, then that messes with a woman's intuition. So, those emotions and feel like, they try to get us away from that, but really feelings and emotions, things like that, that's an alarm for you, kind of let you know something's going on, whether you need to look, just to look inside yourself too sometimes, but yeah, that's important for women
Oh,
especially.
okay. Appreciate that. Islam on that.
That's interesting because when you say get away from a matriarch, you really saying you want to get away from nature.
Mhm.
So, like we were talking about last week, how the original Romans was us. That was Moors, that ideology was changing. It was Moors that wanted to get away from the Muslim activity and get more to Roman. The Muslim was in tune with nature because by the sheer acronym, right? We're dealing with the anatomy of the body. You know,
That that was deep, bro. I'm speechless. Like that was deep. Like, yeah, the woman had a cycle every month in tune with the moon. That was deep, bro. That was deep, bro. Okay, I get it. I'm gonna do some research on it though. Get more knowledge on it. But from what them two just said, that was deep, bro.
so now when we get into natural law, divine law, hermetic principles, these are just laws. Because it's all law. That's where we get Allah. Everything has to abide by some type of law to even be
Like
alive.
universal law, like right, like universal law, right?
The universal law, karma, right? This is
It can't be touched. You know what I'm saying? It can't be altered.
can't be altered. Can't be
Word.
altered.
Okay.
Our best bet is to get in tune with it and be in harmony with it. So we can have heaven on earth. And one of those laws is unity amongst the people. Unity, building, right? Empire, having an empire, that's in tune with nature. Because to have an empire, that means people had to unify to even create the structure. Had to be disciplined enough to be like, yeah, you're gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, boom. And why we all doing this? For the betterment of the whole. Government structure. We can feed each other. We can secure each other, secure our women and children. We have a system. That's divine. Now we are in harmony with divine law. And that's why we keep saying all the people that got culture that are doing this are doing better. I'm talking about right now than people that aren't. Right? People that are culture are more in tune with divine law. Or people that are not cultured, low vibrational activity, are farther in tune with it. So as above, so below, as within, so without. What are the conditions that we can see? Poverty, homelessness, disunity, arrogance against each other, envy, right? So we can't shake it. It's universal. So the Moorish movement is divine and national. That's why we say matriarchal. Matriarchal is a principle that's in harmony with nature. It's not really about, women are better than men. We're just talking about simple universal nature, right? I like this. I like how we opened up with everybody giving a shot. Not everybody. Um, I like what this turned into. So I want to give let's give one more person a shot here. Oh, Ilian Bay.
Yes. How may I help you?
He ready too. He ready. He ready.
Yeah, I've been seeing you, man.
Likewise.
I've been seeing you. My partner. I see you go to one of my partner's barbershops, and you showed interest in the Moorish Tactical book, and I heard about the Moors, but how are you connected? You look kind of Mexican. How are you connected with the Moors? Like, help me understand this. I thought Moors are just black guys, ancient black guys or something.
Oh, this is
Oh.
good. This is good.
First of all, black and white don't exist in the color spectrum. So no one's truly black, no one's truly white. So, but we are Moors, okay? And people are named after land. So they would call you Moreno, Morena, right? So you would be a Moor because Morocco, Morocco. So Moor, Moro. So, or Moro for Moor, short. So it's like you're not Christian simply because of they were Christianity was brought here in 1492. So what was your family before that? Is that kind of, turn a light bulb on? Not only that, in their Bible, it says that we were all one language. What language was that? And what flag did they bear beforehand? Before that red, white, and blue we got here, because that's the 13 colonies, which has 13 stripes. And we're not part of it because we didn't come with the Mayflower. So you cannot be a United States citizen. So what are you? Does that make sense? And they cannot be Americans because they were the 13 colonies of New England. So, and they gave the declaration from Britain. So what are you? Because we know they're Britain, they're Englishmen. So what are you? And to say you're speaking English to be an American language, that's false because English comes from Germanic language. So what's the language here? It's not English. So you raise all these questions to these people and they'll start asking them themselves. Hopefully they'll start seeking it, but you kind of give them the answers, but you don't give it to them all because they need to discover it for themselves. Otherwise, they're just going to take it like a belief. But when they read it, they actually look into it, they'll start questioning themselves within themselves. And if they're honest with themselves, they'll follow it up. And if they're not, and they want to live a lie, that's on them, So Noble Drew Ali warned us about them people. So you hand them what they need and let them think about it and take it. So, and whatever the questions they may bring, you better have a good answer or at least tell them where they go look for it. Does that make sense? So anything else? Ask them.
I like that, man.
Yeah, tell them to come to a meeting.
Right.
Yeah, that part. Yeah, that's why we're doing this too, because we want to let them know, like, man, you got an institution of learning, got a community that you can tap into, to ask miscellaneous questions, go over some curriculum, build rapport, et cetera, And that's some great missionary work, man. But that's excellent job, man. Brother Hassan, I'm tripping, man. Brother Hassan, man, I seen you with the bucket hat with the 7 on there, with the circle around it, and I'm just trying to figure out what's all this about, man.
You put me on the spot, man. So I'm what you call a Moor, which is the proper term of my nationality. I claim my nationality, and the 7 means completion. It's the 7, the Circum 7, which is the book that I study by, that was wrote by Noble Drew Ali. And being a Moor is not a religion. It is an ancient way of life. Our ancestors, the Moors, lived this way. They had certain things that they put on. They walked a certain way. They dressed a certain way. They talked a certain way. These Babylonic ways that we have been accustomed to is, we're victims of circumstance in the United States and things of that nature. Black is the United States corporation's term, black, white, Latino, Native American. All these terms are not who you really are. Being a Moor is claiming your nationality, claiming your national status, claiming your birthright on this land in which you was born, in which your ancestors were here first, before the European colonization, before Christopher Columbus, before all of that. And if you do your research, the National Archives, things of that nature, they have certain documents. You can read the letters of Cortez. There's certain documents that you can read that'll back up everything I'm saying. A lot of people misconstrue Moors as Muslims. A lot of people misconstrue being a Moor as a religion, when Moor is the proper term for a person of melanated skin. That's what it is, and we need to get back to the origin of the proper term of Moor. I know, brother, that you might be kind of afraid, because you see all these different religions and everything going on, but we are not a religion. We are a national movement. We are spiritual people who are in tune with nature, who are in tune with the Most High, who are in tune with everything that life has to offer. That's what I was saying.
That was hard. And you
Mhm.
reassuring him at the end. You're like, I know you're afraid, big dog, but don't even trip on that. Like, it's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
That's peaceful as well. That's hard.
That's
Yeah.
yeah, man. I like that. I
Okay.
like that, man. That's good stuff. So, it's always good to see what we got. Um, so we be prepared for the real world. The temple, the dojo, just training, sharpening, any different areas. Um, like I said, any miscellaneous questions is always good too. Cause like I said, I just come up with ideas week to week. And have, like I said, I can get new people on a daily basis or, weekly basis or whatever that might chime in that's new that just then I'll just package something for them. But yeah, man, we just want to get tight. Get tight on all facets. Okay. Now it is things I had queued up though, just to draw parallels. These things that most of us are familiar with, I like to tie it in to like some people did mention, they will assume religion or what is the Moors religion. Okay, I get the ancient part, which y'all did for civilization. I know who the Moors are, but what's y'all religion? Because you have an organization today. What is the religion being taught, right? So we already know about, coming one with nature, uh, which promotes peace within and in the community. But I like to use signs and symbols as well, visuals, because most people will look at these signs either as Illuminati, Jewish, Star David, etc., whatever. So whatever people background on these symbols. So we want to give more, I like to give them more in depth. I like to reference the back of the Federal Reserve note and compare it with the Great Seal, Moorish pyramid, or they say the Eye of Allah. It's connected. The one on the Federal Reserve note is not connected. I'm a medallion. I pretty much wear it everywhere for the most part, and it's a conversational piece on my medallion. Is pretty much this pyramid connected, and then in my eye I have the sapphire because that's my earth stone for Virgo. It's a conversational piece. Now, of course, we know that Hex Alpha is as above, so below. These are Hermetic principles. These are a visual of the Hermetic principles. Because most people look at this, are you Jewish? I also wear a ring that has this insignia. And most people ask, are you a Jew? Now, when you asking me questions like that, you already know I can go anywhere with this now. I'm loving this. So the signs and symbols I like to, make sure that I'm wearing the signs and symbols because it's a conversational piece. So the symbol of the Eye of Allah, the symbol of the pyramid itself, I am, the first monad manifest in flesh and balance, first people of the earth, Moabite Moorish nation, Asiatics and Muslims. The Hex Alpha, which is loosely referred to as the Star of David or the Jewish star, is a dual trine. So it's two trinities. There's two trinities overlapping. Represents law of duality, as above, so below, spiritual and physical, mother and son. Sometimes displayed like this. Right? Now, you can compare that demonstration to this. You can compare what I just said to the yin and the yang. So anybody that's in the Buddhist community, you can unite on principle, Moorish principle, on how as above, so below, and the yin and the yang has the same expression. It is the same. And matter of fact, what you just did, you did not, you just united people that thought I'm Jewish, or that thought that, oh, that's a Jewish. Right? That's Buddhist, so that's an Asian thing. You just combined it. And we're still talking about nature, right? Masculine, feminine, duality, 180-degree opposite promotes harmony, opposites attract. That's all we're talking about right now. I don't know. So I wanted to share that because I feel like however we can bridge the gap, just remember our tools and what's in our tool belt to use to talk with the people. Larry Bay brought up the Dutch masters. So I felt if not, I just felt it to talk about what we're talking about from New York. What is New York? It's a Dutch colony. All right, here's a book by what's the brother? look at the author's last name, Knickerbocker. Matter of fact, the Knicks, the New York Knicks, they wear orange and blue, which is a sign of the Dutch colony. Yeah, right. So I just wanted to, the brother Larry Bay brought up Dutch Master. I wanted to reference this book, The History of New York, the beginning of the world to the end of the Dutch dynasty. Right. So when you start looking up the origin of New York, New Amsterdam, you're gonna see it's just a Dutch colony. Dutch title of nobility, the Yorks. I wanted to put that out there before I lost my train of thought on that as well. What else? And always keep in mind, I had to do this demonstration. I saw this demonstration and I just had to do it. Most people know about it, but you want to reference, and this is for our Christian brothers and sisters that are, they're heavy into Christmas. We want to reference things for them. I'm gonna read this short piece, not that long. So most people know about this Christmas analogy, but it might be a little foggy. So this is, things to talk about Christmas in a different land for the people. So this is the truth about Christmas and its cosmological connection to the planet Terra. And the brother mentioned Terra earlier, DL. So we look up the planet Terra, just land, right? That's just land. And while I'm talking about it in this scope, let me go back to the definition of Africa real quick, just to tie this in. So the definition of Africa is going to take you to the Latin Terra, right? Is y'all following me here? When you look up the definition of Africa, it's going to take you to the Latin Terra. So what does that mean if it's taking you to Terra and the planet is called Terra? It just means land. Isn't that a good way to talk about Africa? Even for our people that think that they from Africa. Africa's the motherland. That's the truth.
Earth is Africa, my brother.
Right. These are concepts though that sometimes when we in real time talking to the people, we might forget about. So let's just keep these things uploaded. All right. So planet Terra, or planet Africa, or the land, the earth. Specifically bringing attention to the aspect of the Moors' connection to emblems utilized for the holidays or holy days. Moorish scientists, astrologers do understand that on the 21st day of December, Gregorian calendar, the sun or the soul, the noblest image of the creator, reaches its lowest point, or nadir, in its travel through the southern arc constellations of the universe. Thus, in alignment with the southern end of Terra's pole is in fact coherent to the law of nature. At this moment, the sun, or soul, or Michael's position in its travel through the cosmos universe is recognized by de jure scientists as the winter solstice, or Saturni. Winter solstice is affiliated with Saturn because the winter solstice is the marker of Capricorn. Capricorn's ruling planet is Saturn. At this time, the sun is emerging the constellation of Capricorn, which is the lowest emanation of the trinity of the earthly constellations, dealing with Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Pay attention to the trinity. Asserted with respect to the stations of the sun, which in fact lead to victory. See chapter 1 of the creation of the fall of man in the Holy Quran. Chapter 7, Holy Quran. So question, how does this relate to Christmas? Answer, commit to memory the constellations of Virgo, Capricorn, and the divinity of the Trinity principle at that solstice is Latin etymologically means sun stands still, or solstice. So solstice means the sun is standing still. On winter solstice, December 21st, the Gregorian or Celtic calendar, the sun stands still for 3 days or 3 degrees before it starts to ascend to the north on the 25th day of December. Each day after this natural transition of the sun, Michael, we gain more light for 180 days or degrees when the sun reaches the zenith point, known to scientists as the summer solstice. So, as the story is told, Jesus, the Son of God, died and was born again on the 3rd day. See Corinthians chapter 15, verse 3 through 5. The synopsis of Christmas is that the Son of God was born again on the 25th day of a virgin, or Virgo. Now, why are we saying like that? Why are we saying virgin and Virgo? Why are we saying, why are they associated that like that? Why are they saying virgin Virgo? So all you gotta do is just look up real quick. What's the nickname for Virgo? What's the nickname for Virgo? What's the nickname for Virgo? Okay. So let's go back. Let's go back here. Where is it? Just lost my spot. I'll be having so many slides. I got stuff queued up for later too. I'm gonna do a demonstration, but I'll be having like too many slides. But so we're talking about here we go. We're talking about the Virgin or any type of references to the Virgin, any type of holy books. So we're talking about Virgo. All right. So the synopsis of Christmas is that the Son of God was born again on the 25th day of December, a virgin, mother. And Mary means mother. This is due to the fact that every year on December 25th at 12 midnight, 1 minute after December 24th, the constellation Virgo, the Virgin, can be seen just above the horizon in the east. And the Son of God ascends through the constellation Capricorn towards the north. But before we continue, the woman gets impregnated December 25th. 9 months later, the baby gets conceived in the month of Virgo, the virgin birth, the Virgin Mary. Got it? Pretty clear to explain that? So whereas Joseph is the constellation Sagittarius, the archer, November 22nd, the 21st, or winter solstice. Thus, the reference Joseph or Yosef is Jesus or Yeshua's father. Yeshua ben Yosef is translated to Jesus, son of Joseph, Sagittarius. 3 correlative references for claim of Sagittarius being Joseph. A, Genesis chapter 49, verse 22. Joseph is a fruitful bow by a spring. Its branches run all over a wall. So we're dealing with the bow, we're dealing with Sagittarius. B, Genesis 49, chapter 23. The archers, here goes the archer, bitterly attacked him and shot at him and harassed him. C, Genesis chapter 49, chapter 24. But his bow remained firm, and his arm were agile from the hands of the mighty one of Jacob. From there is the shepherd, the stone of Israel. So we got references in the Bible that are anthropomorphic references, allegorical references, they're parables, which means they're coordinates, latitude and longitude, coordinates of stars. A lot of stuff is going on in the Bible at one time. We just need to know that. that was the scope of what I wanted to talk. There's other information in here, but that was the scope that I wanted to talk about this from, as far as when we talking with the people. Um, oh, in the when we're talking about Europeans, we might have some German, French, like I say, European, modern European, or people like the artist Seal. He's British, but he darker than me. It's people. It's not like it's people that don't know, right? But let's say we're talking to a blind or blue-eyed person. We let them know the roots. Go back to the Moorish paradigm. Most of us know about Saint Maurice, but let's use. We can reference what's his name, Benedict the Moor too, because he was all right. Now this would be called a Roman or a Catholic Moor, right?
It was the first Moor to hold up cash in the picture. Now we be holding up the federal notes. It's the first Moor to hold up the federal notes in the picture like that, or whatever that may be here. Means of trade, abundance of it.
Right. And look, in Italian, it go back to what? Moro. So Moro, Moor, the same thing. Right before the Philippines, Moro. It just simply in language, it's just Moro. It's just more. It's, and I'm just saying it like that because it's recorded. I'm going to show this to people later. People be having creating confusion over like the littlest things, like Moro and Moor is different. It's just no, it's not. It's just in a different language, it's pronounced different or spelled different. It may be Muurmo, but anyway, I'm not going to tangent about that. But when we're talking to, our people like kind of like we talked about last week. Oh, the original Romans was dark. I'm showing you, one of them. You know, and I'm not going to assume everybody here knows about Saint Maurice, so I'm going to show Saint Maurice too, so you can see European Moors. So that's two Christian Moors, highly melanated, 3rd century. This one's actually more older. This is the 3rd century. Isn't it funny that they're saying he's born in Egypt? Think about this. Let's make let's think about this, man. This is the patron saint of Germany. He was born in Thebes, Egypt, in the 3rd century. Now we know the Middle Eastern jurisdiction of Egypt and Jordan and the Kingdom of Morocco, all that stuff was after World War I and World War II. But this is the 3rd century though. He was born in Egypt. Where was this man born at? What are they saying here? The patron saint of Germany. He looked at as a god in Germany though. Look at look at his flag though. Just so we can talk about this from a different different lens. I wanted to blow this up right here. This flag that he has on. So this flag that's brought, you can't see it, but it's like a black bird. That's a Roman flag. Saint Maurice was a Roman, but he was still a Moor. He had a nationality still because your ideology and your nationality is two different things. This was a Roman Moor. Any questions, thoughts on this space?
I have a question. So you said nationality versus ideology. So
Ideology.
so when you say like Roman ideology is like pretty much their their beliefs. So he was a Moor but had a different set of beliefs.
Yeah, he was a Christian.
Christian.
But he knew he was a Moor. He knew he was a Moor is because it's in his name, Maurice. You can see it right there. You know, back then, people knew the connection of, names connected to bloodline. But like I say, his flag, his political stance, as far as, being a Roman, was just that. And so that's when I say when we were infighting, when you say Romans and Muslims, these were just Moors beefing with each other. One had the more original creed or the original political structure, ways, culture, clashing against our brothers that wanted to do something different. But there's levels to this. Like I say, I would use St. Maurice as a teaching tool just to show that original, people who are not blind, who blue-eyed people in that area. That's not the original Europe. I use it like that. But of course, when we go deeper into it, now you get into the infighting and stuff like that. But I don't off top just tell people like that. I'm doing this for our temple meeting, just so everybody can kind of, marinate on the history, how things went down, perspective, come to terms with some things. But yeah, you know. And I want to reiterate things like this as far as the 14th Amendment things we can utilize when we're talking citizenship. And matter of fact, you can approach it like this. What's the 12th? Oh, yeah, we got good timing. I like to approach it like this. Because most people don't know about the 14th Amendment. Like, what's the purpose of the 14th Amendment? Like in the Moor circles, this stuff is like repetition. We can't take that for granted. These people don't know. Oh, this is the other thing I wanted to show before I showed that. This was a piece on Saint Benedict the Moor. Is actually a Roman Catholic church named after him. So this is how deep it gets. When I say Roman, just know when you're talking about blonde hair, blue eyed people. I want to make sure I ain't missing nothing over there. So this when you talk to common man and woman, these people in this way, it's different. They're gonna have questions for you. They're gonna be attentive. They're not talking about it like that. We also have documents like this that we could just reference. This is dealing with the Nanaco Indian. So I'm over here tripping today. Oh, there we go. So you can show people stuff like this. This is a book called Delaware's Forgotten Folk: Story of the Moors and the Nanticopes by C.A. Westledger. Before I read this, I want to just see if I got Delaware codes queued up, because the whole thing that you look up where it says they were formerly known as the Moors, there's other aspects of that, and it talks about the Nanaco. So before I read that, I want to just tie this in. Don't forget about the demonstration either. Don't sleep on Title 29, 106. So we already know the Lenape Indians was referred to. Well, we should know this in this group. You should know that already. So we can reference this too in our, that's if, I have stuff on me too. Like in my briefcase, I got this stuff printed out. A lot of this stuff, it's in arm's reach. Or I'm real quick on my phone. So I'm talking to people live. I'll quickly go to this, like, look, what I've been telling you, here's a reference. It's real quick. And I know it's different because I'll be doing pop-ups, so I'm dealing with the community. They kind of like I'm talking with them as they shopping or whatnot. So, but I go into these measures. So the reason I bring this up is here. So this is Lenape Indian, but when you go above to 105, it's talking about the Nanacoke Indians. That's what I wanted to reference in this piece that I'm about to read right now. So this is all these are Moors in the area of Virginia. All right, so let's go back here. So Delaware, I'm sorry, Delaware's Forgotten Folk, the story of the Moors and the Nanticokes. So this was a book review that just on a public record. You can just Google this. There's a book review. And the reason I want to use this is because this is Indians. Like most people think of Moors, Spain, Moors, Europe, 700 years. Rule Spain, they over there, North Africa. So we just want to use stuff like this, for example. Right here it says the native Indians of several tribes now forgotten, whose descendants survive under the name of the Nanticokes and possibly as Moors. So, you know, this is just cross-referencing. It's a plethora of things that we can cross-reference. This is one in real time, right? So just keep it on the cross-reference tip. Any other thoughts, statements on any level? Oh, I lost my train of thought. So 14th Amendment. That was my original thought. I got kind of scatterbrained. So when you want to lay a foundation about citizenship, just show them what law makes you a U.S. citizen. It's going to come up 14th Amendment. Now, if you're dealing, here's another measure. If you're dealing with people that know about this space and they might have came across a Moorish Science Temple and they was kind of like deterred because it was too religious, they didn't like the way they was moving. I like to compare the Divine Warning to this space. I'll bring up where he says 14th and 15th Amendment. Me personally, I like to take people down this journey. Why is Noble Joe Ali saying we don't need this? Right? Then I go to the 14th Amendment like I just did right now. And then what makes you a U.S. citizen? 14th Amendment. Oh. So Noble Joe Ali saying that's not necessary. And I'm just going through this measure because you're gonna have some words that say Noble Joe Ali saying we're U.S. citizens. That's what we're saying. He's saying being part of this. So I'm gonna go. I'm just doing this demo for that. That's all. You know what I mean? So you can choose to take that road as well. I think that was pretty much
The Articles of Confederation, 1774.
1774.
Yeah, like the reason why is like that established where they were. That was established like they didn't come here as 14th Amendment citizens because that comes with the United States, which wasn't a thing yet because they had to ask us for permission. It was like, hey, we're settlers, colonies, here to do 1, 2, and 3. And the 14th Amendment wasn't even a thing because they wanted to be recognized as equal. And the 14th Amendment takes away that equal opportunity to just be here on these lands. That's what I'm saying. But
Yeah. Yep.
I,
And then this too. Don't forget about this. And this is more like exhibit type stuff. If you happen to be in core, you're a certain jurisdiction, citizenship of the United States and expatriation. When you look in that manual dealing with U.S. citizenship, this is a manual dealing with, it's like 1,000 pages dealing with United States citizenship laws, expatriation laws. So when you read things like this, there are strictly speaking no Moroccan laws related to the citizenship of Moorish subjects in Morocco. The fundamental laws of this non-Christian country are based entirely upon Islamic code, no part of which treats of citizenship. There are, however, numerous treaties and conventions between the various Christian countries in the Moorish Empire, by means of which citizenship in this country is defined. This is a manual of United States citizenship, expatriation, a manual. But as I understand from the above acknowledged instructions, that it is not the desire of the department to call for a report upon such lines. I will therefore confine these remarks to general conditions existing, which may possibly be of some use in connection with the information desired. 1. Citizenship in Morocco may be said to be governed by the laws pertaining to the same in other countries, with the exception that all persons residing in Morocco who cannot prove foreign citizenship or protection are considered ipso jure Moorish subjects. Moorish subjects lost their nationality only by becoming naturalized. What is being naturalized? What is the 14th Amendment called? What is the 14th Amendment? What is that? Isn't that called a Naturalization Act? So what does that what does that mean? Right?
Trying to give citizenship via 14th Amendment.
Right.
Ticket to the concert. False ticket to the concert.
False ticket to the concert.
14th Amendment tickets. Here you go. 14th Amendment tickets.
All right. 14th
Those without
Amendment.
constitutional power. Here you go.
So you're gonna lose the only way to lose or be stripped or be denationalized if you confess out your mouth, I'm a US citizen, a 14th Amendment, right? Look what it's called over here, right? It's called the natural way. Look, that's what it's called. All on this side right here. All persons born or naturalized. This is Naturalization Act. So if you're not saying, if you saying I got a nationality, then by default, it's no naturalization. All you gotta just say, confess out your own mouth who you are. But that's why we gotta know the law, we gotta know the history first. It's easy to say that right now, but let's face it, our people don't know law and history and law. If you know history and law, then you would declare your nationality. Now you're national, not war, corporate citizen, right? So this is in a manual on page 460, a manual dealing, what's the manual dealing with? Citizenship of the United States, expatriation, etc. So we're dealing with citizenship laws of the United States. And it's referencing the Moorish Empire. Only way to lose your nationality?
Go
14th.
naturalized.
Noble Ali said 14th Amendment is not necessary. Now we see why. That's the connection, right? So, and this is just like I say, it's different levels. So I gave it different levels or different degrees to the measure, because I had to give this measure to disgruntled people that I went to the Moorish Science Temple and then like how the Grand Sheiks was not given the full spectrum of our international ramifications and the attention. Go ahead. You got something?
Can you go to the very top of this citizenship and protection above? The very top? Not the very top, but in the beginning where you start to speak. Right. Keep going. Right there. Anyway, it says right there are, however, numerous treaties and conventions and all that, right? He's talking about the Treaty of Tripoli, Article 11, where he says it's under Masonic code. If you read that, that's how he opens it up.
Right. Right. Numerous. And that's why it's numerous treaties. Most people just know the Treaty of Peace and Friendship between the Moroccan Empire and the United States. But before it was before anything was called the United States, we had treaties with France, the Netherlands, the English, right? So Treaty of Madrid, a lot of different treaties. So, but yeah, so you know, this is not only if we have a court, if we happen to be in litigation, it's principles that we can make as exhibits to set the tone for our political status of us being Moors in citizenship. They can't make you be a U.S. citizen. They can't, you know what I mean? That's not, And it's just about you being competent on how to maneuver through that. So that's why I brought that up. Any other thoughts, questions, statements?
How can we get it to where the powers that be respect our national card like they always want to see the driver's license? You know what I'm saying? I done ran up on somebody, you know, pulled my national out, had all my paperwork, I'm explaining everything. They still looking at me like, sir, I can't sell you this because, you know, whatever. Like, what do we need to do to get our principles? Like, all these treaties are in place, but they're still not respecting who we are. From the police to the grocery store workers, they be looking at you like they retarded. They don't know what's going on, man. Like, at the end of the day, it's hard for us Moors that still deal with corporate America, like far as having a job and everything. You got to use that BS ID that they gave you. You got to use that BS number that they gave you to even eat. You know what I'm saying? And it's rough. You know what I'm saying? For me, I work. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, I don't have a business. So, like, at the end of the day, what can we do for them to respect? Okay, we pull our national. Okay, you were for a bet. Good. All these treaties are in place, but ain't nobody respecting it. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. And once again, keep in mind, we are colonized. Keep in mind, the empire is asleep. What do I mean by the empire is asleep?
They dumb, deaf, and blind. I can dig it.
Right? We could be black, Negro, colored, don't know. So the reason the temple or the Moorish Science Temple or Khalifa Society or any type of Moorish organization is to unite the people and let them know the truth and continue to grow. And this we be the demonstration for people that caught the light. Like, oh, it's Moors. Okay, I can tap in with these Moors. I just learned about what a Moor was, right? Now they know we exist because of the activity. Now we slowly growing. It's not to feel bad that we not in full bloom right now. That's not what it's about. That's why Noble Drew Ali said, do old business. You can keep doing that. Keep using your straw. Don't feel bad. It is what it is, what you doing to eat. We don't, it ain't like you can go.
Like, hey, pardon me, but I kind of feel like I'm doing some 007 shit. Pardon my French, man. But it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like I got two identities and shit kind of thing. I ain't trying to vote like that. So I kind of keep my national on the hush now. Because I tried, you know, what y'all told me, Larry told me, you know what I'm saying? You got to break that shit down. I had the paperwork and everything. The girl's still looking at me like, what the fuck, excuse me, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? So it's hard, bro. Like, I'm being real with y'all. Like, it's hard. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to. I really don't want to use my driver's license no more. I want to use my national card, how I move and everything, but I can't. You know what I'm saying?
You can use that like I say, that we can do.
Okay.
Now, as far as your job, it's not about. This is not smart. You got a job that been paying your bills, right? You pretty straight. You come across this Moorish information, you be like, oh man, right?
Yeah.
That's not how it works. That'll be. You got to keep doing that. It's why for you to keep that going. Don't disturb that until you figure out a plan B to generate that much that you bringing in. That's smart. You can still learn, still tap in with other Moors, put your energy into getting the nucleus big. That's until it's a situation where we can put you on payroll to be property management for some land we got established. Right? We're working towards that though, right? We already talked about the plan for that, right?
Word.
Right. And that's why we're trying to get different sources and different private investors to help us accelerate to do that, to put our people on payroll. But up until that time, we got to keep doing what we're doing because the activity, people is taking notice. People's taking notice of Khalifa Society, just about us just being active and consistent. So once we keep doing that, we're going to continue to grow with the body count and the people involved. Now we can invest and get to a point where we can hire our members to do X, Y, Z, right? So it's coming, man. It's like there's no rush.
Be still. I got you, big homie. Be still. It's a fire in me though. I'm just saying, bro. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the system. You know what I'm saying? I done learned so much, and it's like everything was ass backwards. I was taught, and you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to feed my stepdaughter and my wife and stuff, but they kind of like, you know, it's a lot, bro. Like at the end of the day, but I got you, though. I feel what you're saying. I appreciate that because I needed that, bro.
Yeah. You know, you're doing great work, man. You know, um, now as far as the nationality card dealing with conveyance, I think I brought this up a couple times, but how I recommend doing it, since it doesn't look like Chinatown and Koreatown for Moors. There's no areas where it's looking like that. Blocks and blocks of Moors with businesses and temples and schools and all that. Since it's not looking like that, the rights of indigenous people just to not register your car at all. I'm never going as a grand sheik of an organization. I'll never tell any member to rush out there and do that. I'll tell you the rights that we got coming here. The rights of indigenous people say we got the right to do that, but it doesn't look like Koreatown, Chinatown for the Moors, because most of our people is not active and unified like that. But until it's to that degree, I don't recommend the Moorish place. And like I said, you might have seen me do that, and I had a little victory. I posted on Instagram and got the Empress car out without having to do that. But that's here and there. That's you know, that's not uniform. All sheriffs ain't on the same page with that. Some of our people are labeled as sovereign citizens in these precincts because it's Moors that are not in this for the right reason, and they just looking at it to get out of something. They're not about the nationhood, so they make us look bad. So for all those reasons, I recommend registering your car with the temple. My car right now is registered. They run my VIN. It says Khalifa Society, Moroccan Consulate Trust. It has a website. They can look me up on Instagram. They can see it's an organization of Moors. When they come into my contact, I have a nationality card, right? A nationality card. And that's why I put in my book, the Department of State Consular Notification and Access Manual, which we know that they get trained on how to deal with non-US citizens who may have treaties. The reason I used to use that is because that takes them to the international platform. And I have no issues. Now, for people that got jobs connected to their straw, I don't even recommend tampering with that, if you just want to. But
I kind of want to, but it's not a good idea. I feel you, Bob. It's not a good idea, but yes, I do want to, for real.
Yeah, I don't recommend it because the last thing I want them to say, "Oh, you fired and you ain't got no backup plan," and that's now you mad at the Moorish movement. The Moorish movement I got fired messing with these Moors. That's not what it's about. You know what I mean?
I would be honest, to be real with you, if that did happen, I would look at it on a spiritual level and talk to the Most High more so than the Moorish science, because the Moorish science is what woke me up and opened my eyes. You know what I'm saying? It's not the Moorish temple's fault that the shit happened during my journey. You know what I'm saying? It's not the journey, it's the destination, like that man said in that video. That was real, you know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't even blame you or blame the society, because it was because of the society that I'm woke now. It's because of the society that I don't want to be part of what the F I've been part of for about to be 44 years. Pissed off. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just, being real with y'all. Like, but I get what you said. Everything you said made sense. So I'm going to just be still and be easy and keep getting my knowledge up. You know what I'm saying? And when we create our Moorish town for us, then I can move that way. And I can be like, boom, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Disappear. I ain't even, Shalon Coleman don't exist no more. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then, like you said,
I'm hungry for it, Mom. I'm hungry for it, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm learning, though.
That's good, man. That passion is needed, man. And just know, once we get to that level, that's how it really supposed to work. At the end of the day, we're talking about civics. It's supposed to look like Chinatown before we even interface with the mayors and the sheriffs, letting them know, like, look, it's a body of Moors out here. Leave a, I know, and really, because we gotta know the hierarchy. We got the PD, right? Chief of police. We got the county level. We got the sheriff, right? Right? They control the county. Now we got the superintendents of the county, board of supervisors, superintendents. They above the sheriffs. So once we get to where it's a community of Moors like that, with businesses working together, It's like it's looking like Chinatown with fezzes and turbans, all 5 to 6 blocks. Now it's time to talk about the rights of indigenous people with the heads of the superintendents, because the superintendents control the sheriffs. The sheriffs control the people on the ground. That's when we have that type of conversation, diplomacy, right? But we're too scattered right now, you know. There's too many of our people that are waking up. Our people waking up, but we're too scattered. It's time to mobilize, and we need to be in one area. That's why the prophet said we need to live close to each other. That's a reason. For the strength of number. That's once again, that's how Oscar the Priest was a Moorish American, a mayor in Chicago during Noble Drew Ali's tenure. Why? Because it was 5,000, 7,000, 10,000 Moors in Chicago alone. Not just on Sunday meetings. I'm talking about living next to each other every day. It was Moors. So that was enough votes to get a Moor in, right? And now all the cops is in line, right? They're not, are the Moors getting messed with? Just like Little Saigon right now, right? That's all Vietnamese people. Are the Vietnamese people getting messed with out there? Nope. Why? Because the superintendents is Vietnamese. It's the same thing. We just need to wake up and work together and strengthen numbers. But in the meantime, we still want to go over information, because as we're doing our missionary work, we want to show our people common sense. Like, this is where it's at. You see, this is just where it's at, right? This is what you need to join. If you're going to join with anything, join with this, not the NAACP, not the
Right.
people.
Noble Drew Ali said so.
Yeah, you know. So that's our duty, you know. And it's our duty once we get this info to raise our people up, man. Now it's like our responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Once we get the light, it's our responsibility, man. It is what it is. We got chosen for a reason. We didn't have to get this info, you know. But any thoughts, statements, or any level questions? Before I read the Quran and close out. And when we close out, I did want to talk about our next physical. We want to link up physically August. It ought to be nothing like major. We blasting out advertisements and stuff like that, or the flyers and stuff. I'm talking about just we get together. The more that's like, out here in Long Beach, LA. We're just having fun, get together. So I want to kind of get a census on when be a good day to do that. Let's see. Let me just finish the demonstration. We'll talk about that. Let me see who's all up there. Let's see. Now. Okay, yeah, it's in the right there on here. All right. So I'm gonna read the Quran and we can close out in prayer. And then we'll talk about that. Out there partying, out there feeling good. So this is the holy instructions from the prophet dealing with social duties. Chapter 30. When thou considerest thou once, when thou behold thou imperfections, acknowledge his goodness. O son of humanity, who honored thee with humanity, endowed thee with speech, and placed thee in society to receive and confer reciprocal helps and mutual obligations, protection from injuries, thy enjoyments of the comforts and the pleasures of life. All these thou owest to the assistance of others, and could have not enjoy but in the bands of society. It is the duty, therefore, to be friend to mankind, as it is thy interest that man should be friendly to thee. As the rose breathes sweetness from its own nature, so the heart of a benevolent man produces good works. So the heart of a benevolent man produce good works. He enjoyeth the ease and tranquility of his own breast, and rejoice in the happiness and prosperity of his neighbor. He opened not his ear unto slander. The faults and the fallings of men give a pain to his ear. His desire is to do good, and he researcheth out the occasions thereof, and removing the oppression of another, he relieveth himself. From the largeness of his mind, he comprehendeth in his wishes the happiness of all men, and from generosity of his heart, he endeavoreth or attempts promote it. So I find this chapter fitting based on the theme of what we've been talking about today. And it's hard out here, but we want to come with good intentions. The intentions of the heart, if it's good, I know we're trying to get sharper delivery and everything, but at the end of the day, it's going to align. If our intentions are good,
What?
we're gonna raise the vibrations of the people, man. And we have a social duty to do that. We came across this info, so we have a social duty to let people know where it's at. Right. So let me close out in prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Noble Jew Ali. Amen.
Amen.
So let me stop the recording and let's talk about